Alright, so this will be my third video for my Capstone project, and the topic I'm going to be covering today will be sound selection and how to mix and master using examples from popular songs produced by Kenny Beats. So I'll be starting right away, and the first example I want to be showing today will be from a song called Folk Fungus created by Ski Mask the Slum God, and Kenny Beats was the producer for that song. And there's a video of him showing his step-by-step process, showing what he added, the different type of sounds he needed to use. And basically I want to show this song because of the cleanliness it has, the way it sounds in your headphones or in your speakers. It was specifically made to sound really clean. So what I want to focus on as a part of this video is just the 808s that he uses. There are two different 808s and how one seems thinner than the one in the verse, just to show you guys the different elements that can be used to change up the sections of a song using mixing and mastering.
Things in that RC20 and it feels real thin. Then the beat comes in right here with this 808. And that 808's the first time you get any low end. I wanted it to drop another level lower. So we have this intro, then we got this first section, and then oh my god, I didn't know the floor could come out again. Like, that was the point. So that 808 is the first like 4 or 8 bars, and then this 808 comes in right behind it.
So a while ago I created a beat to kind of replicate the different 808s that he uses. Of course these are gonna sound very different, but I used one that is wider and one that is like a little thinner. So this is just the first part, and the second 808 comes in after this. If you notice the difference, and the second 808 comes in back again. Basically to the verses and the choruses, I just change between 808s. The second 808 always comes in on the one, and the rest of the 808s just come in between. And I'm showing this just to show how there are certain stock plugins that can help you expand these sounds to make them sound more wider or more thinner. So if you go into the master track and choose one of these dynamics and choose Maximus, this basically will help you mix your whole beat and to make it sound more level. So with Maximus you always want to choose a busy area on your beat. So basically I'm going to choose the one with the 808 starts hitting, and you want to go into bands so you can begin separating the lows, the mids, and the highs from each other. And for the mids and the lows, I try to just find like a sweet spot, so you can mostly hear the low end in here, and so you cannot hear the 808 in here in the mids. And for the highs, I try not to hear the hi-hats, so I try to lower it to like 1.5k. And yeah, and the hi-hats should just be the highs. Now I believe we can start turning volumes down, so then we can all hear how they all sound together. Now we can get started on this. This is basically just compressing the sound. What I try to do is try to find the max on this thing, and then I right click it, or just around the max. It doesn't have to be exactly, just like the average, and then I just lower this to make it level, and then basically just compresses this. Make sure it doesn't go beyond a certain point. And now we do the same thing for the mids. Like around here. Now same thing for the mids, the highs. Around here. And this basically just makes sure that these don't go past a certain level. So as you can see, the lows will always be higher, the mids will be in the middle, and the highs will be really low. And what I also like to do sometimes is make sure that these are like separate. If I put this to the left, it'll make these the high sounds appear more wider in your ears. The mids go like 10%, and the lows, they can either go here or they can go here as well. But since we have an 808 that is wider than the other 808, I just want to leave it normally because I don't want to really mess with that. And now there's another problem that we can also have is just the volume of your beat. So basically what clipping looks like, it looks like this. When it is above the 0, that's how you know it's like, it's gonna be too loud for speakers or too loud for headphones. So I try to get it right at 0. I believe that should be good. Alright, so now the next part that I want to do is separate this 808 from this one. So what I'm going to do is create an automation, which I will go through in another video more thoroughly. But for now, I'm going to basically create a Maximus where the lows are all the way out. As you can see, there's a major difference in how this one sounds than this one. As you can see, this one's more thinner, it's more in the center, while this one is more around your ears and around your head. So basically for this today, we want it as wide as possible. Alright, so I made this little automation right here. As you can see, it changes sections between the first 808 and the second 808. The first 808 has this little rise up to the top, so it's changing the wideness up to a little more thinner, and it suddenly just changes to like 75% right here, getting ready for the second 808 in the second section. And then it basically repeats itself again and again. Whenever the first 808 is playing, it starts again. And what this automation is doing, it's playing around with this knob right here. So as you can see, as it's rising, this one's rising as well, and it jumps to like 75%. And then it drops again for the first 808, and it jumps again for the second. And it will basically sound like this just with the 808 and the low end. Actually, as you can see, there's a little clipping right there. It jumped above the ceiling, which I will change later. But with everything sounding together with this new automation, this is how it sounds like. And the last step I want to show you is the waveforms of the whole song, from the low ends to the mids to the highs, in a visual form other than just the one that I was showing you in Maximus. So as you can see, it's very spread apart from the highs over here and to the lows. Usually what I try to do here is basically just find little anomalies that just really mess with the ears, that are irritating. And by doing that, I put these right here knobs all the way down so they can be sharper, because the wider this knob is, the more wider the thing is. And basically what I try to do here is just like single out different spikes. Sometimes it could be like certain sounds that just really don't like the ear. So right there I found a little something. Just lower it by a very small amount. So this is what I ended up changing. Very small things. Usually when you already finished the whole song, you would not really want to mess with this a lot because it will really change a lot of the small things that you added. And sometimes a little noise here and there would be good, just to like add little elements to the song just to make it feel more unique. But yeah, basically that's the step-by-step process of what I do to mix and master some of my songs. Of course, there are a lot more plugins that you can use for stock FL Studio. For example, there's a song sound guidizer, but this will only be used for specific sounds, not for your entire song. And yeah, everything else is basically just effects, which I will be going through in another video. For now, this will be it.